my soul in freedom. Rise, O my soul in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul in freedom. Nothing on earth can.
Good evening, Namaste, Jai Guru everybody. Welcome to today's class on Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Let us all begin with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Bhagwan Krishna, Jesus Christ, Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahashai, Swami Shri Yukteswar Ji, Beloved Gurudev Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, Saints and sages of all religions, humbly we bow at thy feet. We humbly bow at the feet of the sages Ved Vyas, Patanjali, and Adi Shankaracharya, who by writing the exposition on the Yoga Sutras have shown us the light. Dear Lord, help us to know that we are always enveloped by thine all-protecting omnipresence, in joy, in sorrow, in health, in sickness, in success, in failure, in birth, in death, and in final emancipation. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let us now invoke the presence of the Gurus by singing the hymn to Brahma. Let's all sit straight, gazing up at the spiritual eye, smiling to ourselves. And let's just sing this wonderful chant, reminding us of who we really are. From joy I came, for joy I live, in sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy None of us can think joy, but we can feel joy. And having felt joy in our hearts, we do not question. Even when we are unable to define what joy is, we are unable to put it in a box, we are unable to give a scientific definition, a scientific formula for joy. Yet, because of our personal feeling and experience of joy, we know very well that joy exists. So, friends, let us hear just a few thoughts on joy, and we will affirm also the joy. So Swamiji says, true joy is not an emotional state. It is not that which one feels when some desire is satisfied or when everything at last goes well. It is inward. It is of the soul. It can be developed first by not reacting emotionally to outward things. Don't be tossed on alternating waves of success and failure. Don't join in their excitement, the buyers and sellers in the marketplace of this world. Be calm in yourself, even-minded and cheerful through the gains and losses of life. Then, in calm, deep meditation, feel the joy of the soul. Hold on to that joy through all activities. Don't confine it, but try ever to expand it until your little joy becomes the joy of God. Let us do the following affirmation, first loudly, then softly, then mentally. I am even-minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Repeat it to yourself with conviction. I am even-minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even-minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Mentally, I am even-minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Mentally follow this prayer. In the calmness of meditation, at the heart of my inner peace, help me, Lord, to feel thy thrilling, joyful presence. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So friends, welcome again to the study of the Yoga Sutras. We did the first two sutras last time, but before we go into the study, I have one or two stories to share with you. So this first story is about a Catholic priest who goes to heaven, and he thinks that he is in heaven. So, but he's basically unable to find a door kind of thing. It's like an infinite thing from one end to the other. He's not really find a place to knock at some door, but he feels he's in heaven. So he says, okay, let me just knock arbitrarily. So wherever he knocks, then after some time, a 1,000-eyed creature appears. And the priest thinks, oh, this must be God. He's so mighty and so powerful. And so the person says, oh, who are you? So the priest says, don't you recognize me? You should be knowing who I am. And the creature says, no, I don't know who you are. So the priest says, aren't you God? So this says, no, I am only the doorman. So, but who are you? He said, oh, I am from this planet Earth. And that fellow says, which planet Earth are you talking about? And he says, the priest says, oh, there is this solar system of which, the planet Earth is a part. And this is the sun. Do you know the sun? Of course, you must be knowing the sun. And the 1,000-eyed creature says, sun? Which sun? We have trillions of suns. Which number sun are you talking about? So the priest starts to think, if this fellow doesn't know the sun that I'm talking about, and he doesn't know the earth that I'm talking about, then I'm sure he doesn't know the continent that I live, and I'm sure he doesn't know which country I belong, and I'm sure he doesn't know that I'm a Christian, and of course I'm sure he doesn't know I'm a Catholic, and I'm sure he doesn't know which rural church I give my mass in. And he's wondering. And with that thought, he suddenly wakes up. It's a dream. And this is a dream that we all need to wake up to. I mean, this universe is so vast. Look at the multiverses that are there. There are some suns or stars whose light started from its source when the earth was being created, means 4 billion years ago, and has yet to reach the earth. So think about the number of galaxies that are there, the number of planets that are rotating around the sun. And of course, we tiny little trillions of creatures roaming about here and there, thinking no end of ourselves. How important are we really? Now, it is important to take things in the right perspective. We think no end of ourselves. The I, the me, and the mine is so important for us. But if you think in the perspective of the cosmic phenomenon, what are we really? And we are so sad because nobody understands me. Nobody ever asks me in Hindi. You say, मुझे किसी ने पूछा ही नहीं, मुझे तो कोई समझता ही नहीं है, कोई तो मेरी तारीफ ही नहीं करता. कोई तारीफ क्यों करे भाई, आप हो कौन? Have we asked this question? कोई मेरी तारीफ क्यों करे? कोई मुझे क्यों समझे? मैं कौन हूं? So are we taking things in the right perspective? और क्योंकि किसी ने हमारी तारीफ नहीं करी, अप्रिशिएट नहीं किया, किसी ने मेरा ध्यान नहीं रखा, मेरी को टेक केयर नहीं किया, इसलिए मैं उदास हूं, मैं सैड हूं. क्यों भाई? Who am I really? So one thing is, as long as we think we are this body, mind, and personality, we should know it in the right perspective that this little I or the little ego has no importance at all in this universe. And the moment you shed that imaginary importance, you will find that you are anyway happy. You are in joy always. There is a flip side to this as well. Now, if we remember who we really are, that means from the Atmic self point of view, or from the soul self point of view, or from the eternity and infinity point of view, if we can actually realize that we are infinity itself, that we are omnipresence, omniscience itself, then of course our importance is as big as the Lord. But are we yet there yet? And if not, then we should rather shed the importance of the little self. So we must take things in the right perspective and stop being sorrowful and miserable because others are not asking us, they are not appreciating us, because they are not behaving the way we want them to behave. Who are we? Who are we to say that which creature should behave like the way I want it? So let's just take a step back. Let's just withdraw. Let's practice non-attachment and actually try to become the simple, pure witness of the drama that is happening around us. So that is one aspect of the story that I wanted to share. Another story. So this is, I think, a story from West Bengal. People are very creative there. They're too much into arts and theater and writing and so on. So once a particular this thing was being staged, a play was being staged on theater, and multiple rounds of it were happening. It was a very famous play. So one particular philosopher and writer, he thought, okay, I'll go and see the play. So he went, he was in the audience, and this play was happening. And in one of the scenes, the scene was that, this guy is pestering a woman. He's kind of stalking her, he's disturbing her, he's bullying her, and of course she's fed up of it. And one day finally actually reaches her home, and the scene is so intense that this person who is in the audience, he gets up on the stage and he takes off his slipper and he's about to beat the person who's playing the character. Now the person on the stage actually takes the footwear that the other guy has come to beat him, and he says, thank you. If by my acting I made it appear as if this all was real, then this is a great compliment that I have received. Now, what's the teaching behind it? The problem with us is, although we have come to see this drama of life, the theater, the movie, this play, this leela that is happening, but like that person in the audience, we have got so much into the play that we kind of become one of the characters. and we are unable to impersonally see the whole drama as it is happening. And we get so emotional that then we start to cry, and then we have moments of pleasure and so on. We kind of start to play the game. And that's why if we want pleasure, then we're going to have pain as well. So the only way to withdraw from this is to withdraw from the I. So why are we emotional? Because in the play, now this is a play, a drama, a movie, master said, which is true to the five senses. You will realize it's a play, it's a dream when you wake up. When you wake up, how will you wake up? When you meditate regularly, when you are in sync with the teachings of the higher truths of the scriptures, then you will wake up from this dream. But till then, we need to practice, do a lot of practice in non-attachment towards desirelessness, towards listening to the scriptures, towards contemplating on the scriptures, and towards meditating. Now, unless we do that regularly, this drama is so intense that this Maya is so strong, the delusion is so strong that it gets hold of you again and again. Besides, according to the scriptures, since we've been born so many times in this body and mind complex, we think this is the only reality. So and the Guru comes to, he comes to awaken us. And we need to, by regular practice, again and again practice and reminding ourselves of who we really are. Then slowly, we can withdraw from the drama of life. Okay, so finally we come to the scriptural study. Just give me a moment. I'll just adjust the AC. It's coming right on my head. Okay. So Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, just a kind of revision of the introduction. A sutra is what? It's a simple, small statement without repetition, which expresses a comprehensive idea and leaves no room for doubt. So that is the definition of a sutra. And the first sutra says, Atha Yoga Anushasana. Now begins the study of yoga. And as we said last time, now has very, very implicit meanings, and it can be described in three ways. So firstly, now means that first some other philosophy has already been discussed, which is, we know, the Sankhya philosophy. And now we have come to the study of yoga. The other meaning of now is that after having gone through sufferings through multiple lifetimes and having reached the agonizing monotony of life in a human body, now we are ready to learn what yoga has to offer. And yoga, we know, is the path that leads to Vedanta, to liberation, to knowing who we really are. And then finally, now also means that this study is eternal, meaning that now in this present moment, so we can start the study of yoga in every now. So in this moment, we bring our attention, we bring our pranic energy, we bring our body here and not let it scatter here and there. And now in this moment, we begin the study of yoga. In the second sutra, this is one of the most famous sutras of Patanjali, and this is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So yoga is the neutralization of the vortices or waves of the chitta, or waves of feeling. So here it is important to know what is chitta and what is vritti. So chitta, or mind stuff, or consciousness, as is differently described in various books and schools of thought, is basically, and it also includes all the parts of the antahakaran that we discussed last time. So when we say chitta, it actually means man, buddhi, ahamkara, chitta, means mind, which perceives everything, buddhi, that interprets and calculates everything, then ahamkara means the sense of I-ness, and chitta, of course, the faculty of feeling, and the whole mind stuff itself is called the chitta. So it is said that the mind is like a lake, like a sarovar, or like a still sea. And vritti is a fluctuation, a ripple, or a modification in that stillness. So it's something like when the lake is still and you throw a stone in it, fine ripples are found which move all around. So similarly, in the human mind, what happens is when the sense object meets the organ of the sense, when an image, when light falls on an object, it travels through my eye and goes into the retina. There, my nerve endings pick it up and take it into the brain. And brain is that instrument of the cosmic mind, which gives a reflection of the object that my eyes are trying to see. And that image that is formed is kind of a vritti. So all of this eventually leads to a movement in the stillness of the consciousness, creating an image or creating an impression. So that is vritti. And what does this sutra says? So this sutra says yoga is the neutralization of the vortices of the chitta, of the whirlpools or the vrittis of the chitta. Yani ki jab hum, when we want to know who we really are, then all the waves of the mind, all the thoughts, all the feelings need to be stilled. And then we can reach the state of yoga. Now, this is a good start, and we move on to the next verse. In the entire of the rest book, he will explain how to cancel out those vrittis and what those vrittis mean and exactly what all those vrittis can cause and how do we free ourselves from that. So, Sutra number 3, he says, Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam, meaning, अब हम एक-एक word को समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. Tada means then, at that time. Drashtu means the seer or the witness. Swarupa means my own true form or true nature. And avasthanam is repose. So this means then. So after yoga's chitta vritti nirodha means when the neutralized waves of the chitta, they are all still, when the waves are all still, then the sage or the seer abides or rests in his inner self, his own true state. So in this, Swami Vivekananda says, he says, as soon as the waves have stopped and the lake has become quiet, it is only then that you can see the bottom of the lake. Before that, if the water is muddy or if there are too many ripples on the surface, then we will be unable to see the bottom of the lake. So that is the truth with us as well. You know, we are the soul, which you can say is not actually at the bottom, but just for the sake of an example, we say if we are at the bottom of that lake, our true self, but there is a lot of mud covering. And what are the coverings of the mud? We have the layer of the, of course, the causal body, the ideational body, the thought forms. And then we have the pranic body, which all the prana moving up and down and everywhere. And then we have the actual material body, the physical body. So to be able to, and since we are attached to the physical body because we are seeing through the senses and have forgotten who we are. So unless we remove all the vrittis of the, unless we remove all the vrittis of the lake, we cannot see the bottom. Okay. So someone has commented that I said Swami Vivekananda, but yes, I did say Swami Vivekananda because both Swami Vivekananda and Swami Kriyananda are saying the same thing. So that those words were actually Vivekananda's. So now we move to what Swami Kriyananda ji said. Very interesting. He says, modern living leads us to confuse fulfillment with excitement. So this is a very big question we need to introspect. क्या हम किस चीज को जॉय मानते हैं? जो लिटिल प्लेजर्स ऑफ डेली लाइफ हैं, जो हमारी एक छोटी मोटी डिजायर पूरे होने से हमें जॉय मिलता है, उसी को इवन इटर्नल ब्लिस मानते हैं, या फिर हम किस चीज को मानते हैं? और यूजुअली इन मॉडर्न वैल्यूज और इन मॉडर्न टाइम्स, this is what people think, you know, you create a lot of tension and then you release it. So that is joy, that is pleasure for them. So this is a major confusion. Leading such a life, you will never be able to go beyond the waves. This is always a wave going up, down, excitement, depression, one way or the other. Okay, the thrill of the imaginary happiness that people equate with excitement shatters their nerves and fills them with suppressed fears that emerge with the exhaustion that follows after their emotional jumping up and down. So हमें अगर हम excited हो रहे हैं तो हमें अपने आप को check करना है और ये reminder देना है. Yogi will always remember that this little excitement I'm jumping about, there's a game happening on TV and I'm jumping about it, getting excited. This is not true joy. I may even if I temporarily feel happy in the moment that India has won and I'm proud of it, yet I must remember that my ability to be happy in this moment is coming from my true nature of Ananda. It is because me as my soul self am Ananda itself, am Sachidananda itself, I am Brahmananda itself. That is why when my senses are recognizing such an event in this world, that I'm able to enjoy it. So if I refer that to the joy of God and always remember the source of what is happening and actually remember that I am the witness of this drama, then firstly, I won't get excited that much. But that doesn't mean that the joy in my heart or the happiness in my heart or my country having won would be less. No. But I would also be compassionate in saying that, yes, all the other players did so tremendously. And that this all is God's play. And this game is just a play. And sometimes one person wins and sometimes another wins. So when I think like that, then my joy has a calmness to it. Rather than if I say, oh my God, I am so good and that other fellow was so bad and I just outdid him and I'm going to outdo him every time. So if I do feel happy with that kind of excitement, that feeling, then that is going to turn into depression the very next day, because India to अगले दिन दूसरे मैच में हारेगा, तो फिर आप फिर सैड हो जाओगे. लेकिन यदि आप उस काम स्थिति में रहोगे, इस काम विटनेस की तरह आप उस पूरी सिचुएशन को देखोगे, and you will be happy for whoever person actually wins. Of course, loyalty to the country is very high in kind of a virtue, but uske bhi beyond hai. Master used to say, forget that you are a Hindu, forget that you are an Indian, you are a world citizen, you are a human. And human is what? Is actually a divine being just playing a little drama of human being. So ये सारी realities जो हैं, अगर इनकी बार बार प्रैक्टिस करेंगे तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली, ये थोड़ी है कि अब आप एंजॉय करो, कुछ मोमेंट पार्टी चल रही है विद योर फ्रेंड्स एंड सडनली यू से नो फर्स्ट लेट मी थिंक लाइक दिस, that I am a divine being, this is a play, this is a drama going on, and I should not get very excited. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to beat yourself up. But by again and again remembering the truth, by listening to the truth, by reading the scriptures, by meditating, this actually seeps into your entire being. When every atom of your body starts to get convinced that yes, this is the truth, तो फिर आपको कुछ भी पुट अप नहीं करना पड़ता, ये आपके लिए एक नेचुरल स्टेट हो जाती है. और तभी ये सूत्र कहता है कि then you know who you really are. Okay, so let's continue with what Swami ji says. He says, people grasp at happiness, then wonder why it slips from their grasp the very moment they want to catch it. Calmness is the only possible foundation for any true lasting fulfillment and happiness. In fact, we also read in the Bhagavad Gita that without peace, happiness is almost impossible. And calmness is possible only when the ego stops shouting for attention. What about me? What about me? What about me? When we slowly train ourselves and bring ourselves to the correct perspective, that ये little I कुछ भी नहीं है, जैसे हमने उस स्टोरी में डिस्कस किया, तो ऑटोमेटिकली हम काम हो जाते हैं. जब हम औरों से एक्सपेक्ट करना ही छोड़ देते हैं कि कोई हमारी आरती उतारेगा आके, तो हम अपने आप ही काम हो जाते हैं. कोई एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं है. We just do our duty to the best of our ability, with sincerity, with love, with a willingness and joy. तो ऑटोमेटिकली हम काम हो जाते हैं. Okay, so a calm mind can calm opposition. When it fails to do so, it disarms it. Now, this reminds me of the entire non-violent movement by Mahatma Gandhi. So if you remember this, he followed that principle so strongly, and this is what happens, is the calm mind can calm the opposition. So when even one mind is calm, and that is the effect of a self-realized soul, when even one soul is self-realized, then all the other souls that are in its company tend to calm down automatically. And when it does not calm the other person, it disarms it. So the other person's desire to kill you, even over a period of time, that can go down. So there is only one thing that can make an enemy into a friend, and that is the practice of non-violence. And अगर हम उसको calmness से, यदि हमारे चित्त में calmness है, तो हमारा किसी को हार्म करने की इच्छा ही नहीं होगी। तो ये सारी चीजें तब काम आएंगी। एक तरफ तो हम यम और नियम प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं जिसमें हम नॉन वायलेंस कॉन्शियसली प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, एक तरफ हम मेडिटेट कर रहे हैं और अब अपने चित्त को शांत कर रहे हैं, एक तरफ हम कर्म योगा की प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं जिससे हमारा माइंड प्योरीफाई हो रहा है, एक तरफ हम कॉन्टेम्पलेट कर रहे हैं और ज्ञान योगा की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं। जब हम ये सारी चीजें गुरुज ग्रेस से करने लग जाते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिकली कामनेस सेट इन हो जाती है, और ऑटोमेटिकली आप पाएंगे दैट ओवर द इयर्स इन योर प्रेजेंस there the people around you also get a little more calm and they are also able to think more clearly by themselves. The calmness that Patanjali describes is not only to be attained through spiritual endeavor. A very important point Swamiji puts in here. He says you must practice calmness under adversity and this will hasten its attainment. For example, he says, if you want to know peace, practice being peaceful now, especially under adverse circumstances. If you want to know joy, be joyful now, especially when matters look bleak. If you want to know divine love, love everybody, even your self-proclaimed enemies. तो ये बिल्कुल मत सोचिए कि ये एक दिन सडनली जो है कामनेस, पीस और जॉय ये सडनली आपके ऊपर डॉन हो जाएंगे, आपको एक गिफ्ट पैक होके दिए जाएंगे. यू हैव टू स्टार्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग ऑल दीज वर्च्यूज एंड वैल्यूज नाउ, especially when it is difficult to do so. So in every moment, if you would just pause a moment before reaction and then from your inner intuition, if you just send a prayer in that moment to God to help you to know what to do or what to say, you will find that your response will be much better than your initial reaction would have been. So कुछ भी condition है, हमें अगर हम ये जितनी बार हम भूल जाएंगे, जैसे कि वो ऑडियंस वाला बंदा भूल गया था कि ये तो प्ले है, ये तो ड्रामा है, उतने ही बार हम इमोशनली इन्वॉल्व हो जाएंगे. इमोशनल इन्वॉल्वमेंट से क्या होगा कि हमारा, as the Gita said, that you get, if you are angry or if you are frustrated, then your sense of judgment, your viveka will go. You will not be able to discriminate between right and wrong, between real and unreal, and then all your life will go into a downward spiral. So we need to practice all that is taught in the scriptures with every moment and every day. Okay. An interesting aspect of the spiritual path is the assurance that whatever your faults and shortcomings are, God will see to it that your nose gets rubbed in them. If, of course, you sincerely want to free yourself from those shortcomings. So this is very important. जो हमारी shortcomings हैं और हम चाहते हैं कि हम उनसे free हो जाएं, तो God will make sure to give you situations in this lifetime that you overcome them. अगर आप ओवर अटैच्ड हैं चीजों से, पैसे से ओवर अटैच्ड हैं, तो ऐसे कई मौके आएंगे जब लोग आपको पैसों का धोखा देंगे. अगर आप ये बात एज अ योगी रियलाइज कर ली, और एन एस्पायरिंग योगी, यू रियलाइजिंग कि आप फंसे हुए हो, आपकी ऐसी हैबिट पैटर्न है कि आप पैसे से अटैच हो, ये बात आपने रिकॉग्नाइज कर ली है और इस बात से आप फ्रीडम चाहते हो और इस बात के लिए आप प्रे भी कर रहे हो, देन गॉड विल मेक श्योर दैट सिचुएशंस इन योर लाइफ विल हैपन वेयर योर clasping and grasping for money will eventually loosen up, because there will be enough pain and poking in your life कि आप कहोगे मुझे नहीं चाहिए. तो यदि इस लाइफ में आपकी ऐसी सिचुएशंस आ रही हैं जो आपको किसी पर्टिकुलर हैबिट पैटर्न से हटाना चाहती हैं बट वो पेनफुल हैं, know that they are God given. Those tests are going to come, because if eventually we want to free, we have to face our own fears, we have to face our own habit tendencies, we have to overcome our own samskaras. तो अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन आ रही है, डोंट शर्क इट, डोंट शन इट, उसको हैंडल करना है, उसको वी हैव टू फेस द फियर, वी हैव टू लुक इट इनटू द आई. बट ऑफ कोर्स एग्रेसिव अंदर से नहीं होते हैं, इसमें कामनेस हेल्प करेगी. जो योगा प्रैक्टिस है वो यही हेल्प करती है कि हम किसी भी डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन को एक इवन माइंडेडनेस से देख पाते हैं और रिएक्शन की जगह एक अच्छा वैलिड रिस्पॉन्स दे पाते हैं. तो तभी हम वो जो चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं उसको हम देख पाएंगे सही पर्सपेक्टिव में. तभी हम देख पाएंगे कि जो हमारे सामने डिफिकल्टी खड़ी है और ये बार बार आती है, वो क्यों आ रही है. और जब हम उसको अंडरस्टैंड करने लगेंगे तो हम अपने आप के अंदर करेक्शंस क्रिएट करना शुरू करेंगे और धीरे धीरे मोर एंड मोर इवन माइंडेडनेस की तरफ बढ़ेंगे. So there's so many people present here. So this can be a question to everybody. Anybody wants to share some habit pattern that they had, and then by repeated similar tests again and again, they were kind of just told कि ये मुझे छोड़ना ही है, and they were happy leaving that habit pattern. Anybody wants to share their experience? You can right now. Okay, I think everybody is in the listening mode, so we go on with our class. Okay.
Radhika ji,
Yes, yes, dear.
मैंने experience ये share करूँगी. I will share my experience as you said. Swami Kriyananda ji said कि अगर आपको खुश रहना है, adversely situation में भी खुश रहना है. You have to be peaceful right now. So as you know कि मेरी क्या situation चल रही है, now I'll start practicing it and I'll share in another some classes.
Okay, thank you so much. That's very interesting. If somebody says that, okay, from now on, I understand something, and I'm going to try practicing this, whatever the situation will be, that's a gain. That's a spiritual step that you have gained. That's an evolution. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yes, Anjali, you want to say something?
Yes, this time, that is the COVID time, has really made me leave one thing, and that I relished so much, and that was tea. So it's been almost 1.5 to 2 years that I have totally given up on my regular kind of tea, and I shifted to green tea. And now things are again coming up, which will make me leave even the green tea also. So I'm going to completely be off tea. I know for sure in a couple of more, some more time, it will be totally off my system. And I could never think of being without a tea. So this is one thing that has happened with me during this time period.
Okay, that's great. So here important thing is not to think कि चाय बुरी है. चाय बुरी नहीं है. It's your attachment to the tea. It's when you start to think कि अगर मुझे चाय नहीं मिली तो मेरा क्या होगा, अगर मेरा तो सिर दर्द हो जाएगा, मैं तो काम नहीं कर सकूंगा. So when you feel limited because of some external object, whether you get it or you don't get it, that's the problem. And that is the attachment that God wants from us, because he wants us to rise above body consciousness. Then the little things of the body should not matter. चाय मिल गई तो भी अच्छी बात है, नहीं मिली तो भी अच्छी बात है. फिक्सेशन की जरूरत नहीं है, अटैचमेंट की जरूरत नहीं है, वो वहां से हमें अपने आप को विड्रॉ करना है. ओके, एकता डियर, यू हैव समथिंग टू से.
Yes, so with the grace of Guru, I left cold drinks, and it is more than 2.5 years now. When I was at level 2, or I guess level 1, when I joined Ananda. So at that time, I felt as if, I got some indications that I should leave cold drinks. And from that day till now, I don't touch it.
Okay, so once again, we see food attachment, badi common cheez hai. So what Patanjali is talking here is, yes, food attachment is one of the things, but attachment to I-ness itself. Attachment to my opinions about the world, attachment to other people's opinion about me, attachment to I thinking that everything is mine. So हम ड्रामे में क्यों फंस जाते हैं? क्योंकि हम ये सोचने लगते हैं कि ये जो ड्रामे की चीजें हैं ये हमारी हैं, ये मेरा है, ये चीज मेरी है, ये लोग मेरे हैं, और ये भूल जाते हैं कि इस ड्रामे को ना हमने लिखा है. वी आर नॉट द स्क्रिप्ट राइटर, वी आर नॉट द डायरेक्टर, वी आर सिंपली मियर एक्टर, वी आर नॉट द प्रोड्यूसर, नथिंग वी आर. सो प्रॉब्लम यहाँ आती है और इससे हमें विड्रॉ होना है, और यही चैलेंज आपको आने वाला है. यदि आप, इफ यू आर टू मच अटैच्ड टू ह्यूमन लव, personal human love, then believe it, in this lifetime or whenever it is for you, you're going to face challenges where God is going to tell you that you need to go beyond human love, that even human love at a point becomes a dead end. So if you're attached to too much money, of course, as I said, that you will find so many people who are going to make you know that your attachment to money is very, very painful and you're going to let it go. So जो भी हमारी attachment है, eventually we are the divine Atman playing a human role, and God wants us to remember who we really are. हम एक मेले में आए हैं, उस मेले में आके हमें रंग इतने पसंद आने लग गए हैं कि हम कह रहे हैं कि ये मुझे चाहिए, ये मुझे चाहिए, ये वाला कलर चाहिए था मुझे, तो वो वाला चाहिए था, जो उसके पास है वो वाला चाहिए था, और ये तो मेरा है, फिर एक कलर ले लिया तो ये तो मेरा ही है, मुझे और ये चाहिए, और रेड चाहिए, और ऑरेंज चाहिए, और गोल्डन चाहिए, इसको तो मैं रखे रखूंगा। हम भूल गए हम कहाँ से आए थे, हम क्यों आए थे, हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं। वी आर द डिवाइन लाइट इटसेल्फ। हम मेले में खो गए हैं क्योंकि हमें आई, द लिटिल आई से सब कुछ हम जोड़ लेते हैं, ये मेरा है, ये मुझे चाहिए से प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट होता है। तो यहाँ से ही हमें विड्रॉ करना है, और इसको आईनेस को स्ट्रॉन्ग करने में थॉट प्रोसेस का बहुत बड़ा खेल है। इट इज द माइंड दैट मैग्निफाइज एवरीथिंग फॉर अस। सो व्हेन वी स्टिल द माइंड, only when we are able to still the thought processes of the mind, can we know that we are beyond thought, we are beyond the body, we are beyond the prana, we are beyond thought. तो तभी हम जान पाएंगे, और तभी ये जो सूत्र है इसका फल हमें प्राप्त होगा कि हम एक्चुअली वी आर द प्योर विटनेस, वी आर दैट प्योर लाइट, and this is a temporary role that we are playing. Okay, so we come to the next.
Ma'am?
Yes, Ekta.
मैम, जैसे अभी आपने बताया मेले का एग्जाम्पल दिया, मैंने बचपन में मेरे दादाजी मेरे को बताते थे कि ये दुनिया भी एक मेला है, जहाँ पे हम, जब एक छोटा बच्चा अपने पेरेंट्स की उंगली पकड़ के जब तक मेला दिखता है तब तक वो एंजॉय करता है, वो मिठाई को, खिलौनों को, हर चीज में एंजॉय करता है। बट जब वो उंगली छूट जाती है पेरेंट के हाथ की और वो मेले में खो जाता है, तो वही मिठाइयाँ, वही खिलौने, वही झूले, सब कुछ है, बट वो रोने लग जाता है। इट इज सेम टू अस। हम जब तक प्रभु की उंगली पकड़ के इस मेले को एंजॉय करेंगे, हम तब तक ही एंजॉय कर सकते हैं। जिस दिन हमारे उंगली छोड़ी, उस दिन हम अकेले रह जाएंगे। तो हमें कभी भी ईश्वर की उंगली नहीं छोड़नी चाहिए जब तक हम इस मेले में।
That is right, Ekta. Yes, Rima, you have something to add to that.
Yes, ma'am. I have one incident which I want to share. It happened only yesterday, and I want your guidance, ma'am, ki whether my reaction was correct or not, and I'm a little confused. Actually, yesterday, what happened, one of my very close relatives, he abused my father. It was a close family affair, and my father, he's not in the same town as me. He lives in Ranchi. So, and my father is approaching 80. He was badly abused by my very close relative. My brother was also there. My mother was also there. They were all shocked and they left. When I got to learn over the phone, I said, ki, this is a drama, don't get attached, leave it. The person who has done this will face the music himself. God is seeing. But my parents, they were badly battered. And my mother, she kept weeping and weeping ki itna insult ho gaya or itna humiliation ho gaya. And my father was also very low. तो दिन भर हम वो लोग को काउंसिल करते रहे एवरी टाइम, मतलब नाउ एंड देन कि लीव इट, छोड़ दीजिए, मत इतना दुखी इतना मत होइए, दिस इज अ ड्रामा. लेकिन बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे वो लोग इतना लो, अपसेट, और दे वर फीलिंग लाइक दे आर, मतलब एजेड पीपल, दे आर फीलिंग एज इफ कि हम लोग को कोई सपोर्ट करने के लिए नहीं है. और
yes, Rima, I got your thing. So what you are saying is what should be our response in such a
no, then ma'am, I have give me one more minute, ma'am. Then at night I made the call to that person and I gave him a good scolding with all wisdom and with full alertness. And I said ki, I scolded him very badly. I said ki, how dare you do that? And it was a very wrong thing. And whatever I had to say, I scolded him in a very high pitch. And then I realized that when I went to sleep, my ego was at play. My ego was at play कि हमने ये किया, whether अच्छा किया. I should have said this also. Why didn't I said this? He had abused my father.
Okay, Rima, I've got your whole thing. Because we don't want the energy to go in one particular direction, because we're sticking to the Yoga Sutras, and we see how this situation will kind of just what to do in such a situation, because ये situation तो आती ही रहेगी. तो
Yeah.
इसमें सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि मिजरेबल हम क्यों फील करते हैं, ये हर एस्पेक्ट से हम इस सिचुएशन को देखेंगे. Your parents, don't see them as your parents right now, just see them as impersonal, you know, they are some elderly people, okay, and a soul
Okay.
which is in the body of an elderly person, okay. So now
Okay.
the soul which is attached to this body and personality, it feels miserable because of, again, कि उनको लगता है कि हमारी तो इज्जत होनी चाहिए थी पर हमारी बेइज्जती हुई. ठीक है. So here when we are feeling miserable is because we feel that the world should have behaved otherwise. Now when people become saintly and they become yogis, then even if the other person throws a stone at you, if they actually abuse you, then the saint does not feel miserable about it. He may know in his heart that what they are doing is not right, that they will have to face the consequences of it. But the fact that I am feeling miserable is because I am so much attached to my body and personality, is because I am so much attached to the opinions of others about me, and that is why I am feeling miserable. Okay. तो जो ऐसा आपके पेरेंट्स का मतलब जो उनका रिएक्शन था वो बिल्कुल एबनॉर्मल नहीं है. एट द ह्यूमन लेवल, वंस यू नो, आप यही बिलीव करते आए हो कि आप ये बॉडी हो, आप ये पर्सनालिटी हो और यही सेटिंग है, क्योंकि दे डू नॉट नो अदरवाइज, देन दिस इज अ नेचुरल ह्यूमन रिस्पॉन्स. तो एक तरफ तो ये हो गया उनका रिस्पॉन्स कैसा था. सेकेंडली, आपने उस पर्सन को कॉल किया, which was not wrong, it was right, and of course you did it with some level of calmness. That's what I've kind of heard from your what you said. Okay, although 100% calmness नहीं था, that's why you later on you were still thinking कि मैंने ईगो से किया कि नहीं. तो एक जो सोल्जर होता है उसको अपनी कंट्री को डिफेंड करना ही होता है, उसको अपने कंट्री के लोगों का जो पीस है वो मेंटेन करना है, जो कि लेसर स्ट्रेंथ वाले में उसको पता है कि वो फिजिकली एबल है और उसके पीछे जो पॉपुलेशन खड़ी है वो लेस फिजिकली एबल्ड है और उसको प्रोटेक्ट करना ये उसकी ड्यूटी है. और ऐसा करने के लिए वो एनिमी को कन्फ्रंट भी करता है और एनिमी को गोली भी मारता है. लेकिन इफ वी गो बाय द टीचिंग्स ऑफ द भगवद गीता, देन वी नो कि अगर उसको मालूम है कि वो कौन है तो वो अपना रोल प्ले करता है एज अ सोल्जर. ही नोज इट इज हिज ड्यूटी टू डाई ऑन द बैटलफील्ड और टू फाइट एंड बी विक्टोरियस ऑन द बैटलफील्ड. तो वो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से करता है. ही इज नॉट specifically expecting a result of it, means he is actually doing his duty. That's what the Gita says. The Gita says you should not expect a specific outcome. You should do the right thing in the right moment. तो आपने जो आपको सही लगा, जो कि ठीक भी है, you have more strength than your parents, moral strength and physical strength right now to be able to calmly confront an enemy and maybe show him the mirror. But then if you are also getting emotional about it or attached about it, means again the ego is playing here. So it takes lifetimes after lifetimes. ये जो है अपने आईनेस को छोड़ने के लिए ये आसान थोड़ी है. ये स्क्रिप्चर्स इतने सारे क्यों बनाए हैं, गुरु क्यों जीवन के बाद हर एक बर्थ रिबर्थ इतनी साइकिल्स क्यों लगती हैं हमें अपने आप को फ्री करने में. अगर हम इतने मिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स से एक शरीर में जीते जा रहे हैं और अभी तक हमें ये बात समझ नहीं आ रही, इसका मतलब इसमें टाइम लगता है. तो ना ही आपके पेरेंट्स का रिएक्शन रॉन्ग है, लेकिन यदि वो इस उम्र में भी स्क्रिप्चर्स पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे या सुनना शुरू करेंगे तो ये जो गांठें हैं हमारे अंदर, जो ये मैं की गांठ है, ये धीरे धीरे लूज होनी शुरू हो जाती है. तो कोई भी उम्र कम या ज्यादा नहीं है, क्योंकि सोल की कोई एज नहीं है, वो इस शरीर में है जो ओल्ड हो गया है. So for them, I would say, and since you are a devotee and disciple, start reading the Gita to them. It will benefit you, it will benefit them. They will not be so miserable. There were so many times when Swami Kriyananda, he was like, there were so many court cases on him. There were so many people. When you start a community, then half of the people are with you, half are against you. And that's true for all political and religious leaders. If you are going in the right direction, you are going to get opposition. So, but how you handle that opposition? अगर स्वामी क्रियानंदा हर उस अटैक पे मिजरेबल फील करने लग जाते तो फिर ये वर्क कैसे क्रिएट होता? So you have to rise above feeling emotion.
Ma'am, I would like, ma'am, sorry for interrupting, but ma'am, I would like to add, I was getting disturbed all night, but in the morning when I woke up, I kept chanting in all my chakras, Om Vasudev Krishna Namaha, Om Krishna, Om Krishna, Om Krishna. And then by the midday, I was again my peaceful self. Ma'am, one question I would like to ask you, ma'am.
Can we keep the questions for later, Rima?
Okay, ma'am.
So
Yes,
here is an
sure.
important thing. Anna, you have also offered a solution. So what is the easy way? There are people who cannot read the scriptures. There are people who are not interested in listening to the scriptures. There are people who cannot sit for meditation. There are people who cannot go to even temples. They are confined to their homes. So the simplest thing that can be done for such people is taking God's name, because God's name represents God himself. It is the truth. By repetition of truth again and again and again, the vrittis which are stored in our consciousness of past lifetimes, of many lifetimes, they are erased. It's just said that a positive vritti can cancel a negative vritti. So all the habit patterns, the attachments, the samskaras, the vasanas that are developed in us, if we keep taking God's name in the form of a mantra or just whatever comes in your heart, if you keep doing that, it's kind of creating a positive vritti, which is going to cancel all the other negative vrittis, and it is going to lead you towards yoga chitta vritti nirodha. With this, we move on to the next.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, we go to the next sutra, which is fourth, and it says, वृत्ति सारूप्य मित्रत. इसका क्या मतलब है? वृत्ति हमें पता है रिपल्स हैं, सारूप्य मतलब फॉर्म, और इतरत्र मीन्स अदरवाइज. तो यदि हम वृत्ति को शांत नहीं करेंगे, जैसा कि तीसरे सूत्र में हमें बनाया गया है, तो जो हमारा कॉन्शियसनेस है, जो माइंड स्टफ है, वो इन वृत्ति का रूप लेने लगेगा. इसका क्या मतलब है, फिर से समझते हैं. अदरवाइज, if one is not focused or has not found inner peace, the vrittis cause the indwelling self to assume many outward forms or identifications with modifications. इसका और इसको समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. Until one has attained inner calmness, his vrittis, that means all his feelings, his desires and attachments, not only assume many outward forms, but also draw him into the depths of innumerable delusions. यानी कि अगर हमने वृत्ति को हमने ट्रांसेंड नहीं किया, तो जैसे कि सौरों की वृत्ति, आपने कुछ देखा बाहर और आपके अंदर सौरों की वृत्ति आई, हमें अगर हमने इस पॉइंट से नहीं देखा कि हम एक प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस हैं, प्योर विटनेस हैं, एंड दिस इज अ वेव फॉर्म इन माय ओन कॉन्शियसनेस एंड आई शुड नॉट रिएक्ट टू इट, तब हम वृत्ति को ट्रांसेंड कर सकते हैं. लेकिन यदि हम उस वृत्ति में, उस सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट में घुसते चले जाएंगे, तो वो सौरव जो है वो और डीपन होता जाएगा, और उस सौरव से क्या होगा, हमारी आईनेस जुड़ी हुई है कि फिर सडनली हमें पुरानी और हमारी स्मृति जुड़ी हुई है. तो सपोज आपने कोई मूवी में सीन देखा और सिमिलर चीज आपके साथ लाइफ में हो रखी है, तो आपकी जो वृत्ति है वो इतनी स्ट्रांग हो जाएगी. एक तो मेमोरी की वृत्ति आ जाएगी साथ में. वृत्ति इज अ मूवमेंट इन योर कॉन्शियसनेस, रिमेंबर, सो मेमोरी इज आल्सो अ वृत्ति. वील गो दैट इन द नेक्स्ट, डू दैट इन द नेक्स्ट sutras. Then your I-ness is also a vritti that will join in, and what you have seen has also created one vritti. So that strong, imagine the ripples that will happen. तो आपने एक स्टोन नहीं, आपने पूरा बोल्डर ही घुसा दिया अपनी सी ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस में. जब बोल्डर गिरेगा तो इतनी बड़ी बड़ी वेव्स होंगी, इसीलिए आप में इतनी रेस्टलेसनेस आ जाती है, इतने आप इमोशनल हो जाते हो. और एज अ योगी आपको क्या करना है? If we remember the statement from the autobiography of a yogi, in great minds, even the great whales or boulders, or they do not cause even a slight movement, and in little minds even a small ripple appears like a storm. So I'm paraphrasing, I'm not using the exact words, but what it means is, जो बहुत ज्यादा बॉडीली अटैच्ड होते हैं, अपनी सेंसेस से अटैच्ड होते हैं, उनकी लाइफ में थोड़ा सा भी कुछ हो जाता है तो उनकी लाइफ में स्टॉर्म आ जाता है. लेकिन जो सेंट्स होते हैं, योगीज होते हैं, उनके ओशियानिक माइंड्स होते हैं. उसमें अगर एक बहुत बड़ा रॉक और बोल्डर, पूरा माउंटेन भी गिर जाए, तभी भी उसको कोई खास फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. तो हमारा एम क्या है? अगर हम चाहते हैं कि हम चित्त वृत्ति निरोध की तरफ मूव करें, तो हमें उस ओशियानिक माइंड की तरह बनना है, क्योंकि हमारा ट्रू नेचर ओशियानिक है. हम अभी एक छोटे से बबल और वेव की तरह इस ह्यूमन लाइफ को जी रहे हैं, बट हम वी आर द ओशन इटसेल्फ। तो ये रियलाइज करने के लिए सारी वृत्तियों को हमें ट्रांसेंड करना पड़ेगा। तो इस सूत्र में बहुत क्लियरली उन्होंने बोला है कि यदि आपने अपनी वृत्तियों को शांत नहीं किया तो एक तरफ ना तो आप अपना असली स्वरूप जान पाएंगे जो कि आत्मा का स्वरूप है, पर आप उन मॉडिफिकेशंस के साथ घूमते जाएंगे। आप उस सौरव भी सोचेंगे आई एम सौरवफुल, कुछ प्लेजरेबल आया आप सोचोगे आई एम हैप्पी, जबकि आई इज एक्चुअली इट इज डिटैच्ड विटनेस। the temporary whatever has happened, it's a vritti. हैप्पीनेस की वृत्ति को आपके माइंड ने डिफाइन करा हुआ है हैप्पीनेस को, सौरव की वृत्ति को आपके माइंड ने डिफाइन करा हुआ है सौरव। एक्चुअली एवरीथिंग इज न्यूट्रल, सब कुछ हो रहा है और आप उसको विटनेस की तरह, एक प्ले की तरह वॉच करने के बजाय आप उसमें घुसे चले जा रहे हो और आप उसमें एक और वेव बन जा रहे हो और आप खो जा रहे हो, आप भूल रहे हो कि आपका तो आप तो वाटर इटसेल्फ हो। यू आर द वाटर इन द ओशन इटसेल्फ। अभी वेव का रूप आपने ले लिया और आप उस आइडेंटिटी में ही खो गए हो और आप दूसरी वेव्स को देख रहे हो और आप कह रहे हो वो वेव तो बहुत बड़ी है और आप कह रहे हो ये वेव तो बहुत छोटी है, तो बहुत तुच्छ है मेरे सामने, और वो जो बड़ी वेव है वो अच्छी है, मुझे उस जैसा बनना है। आप भूल गए हो कि आप वाटर हो और फिर आपको लगता है कि ओहो ये वेव तो ओशन के शोर पे क्रैश कर दी है तो मर जा रही है, तो मैं भी मर जाऊंगा या मैं भी मर जाऊंगी। ऐसा है ही नहीं। You are that water which cannot be destroyed. It will only change form. That is why the body will only, it is like a garment, it will only be shed. You are the light, you are the ocean. That is your real Swarupa. And one day you have to come to it. The sooner the better. The sooner you will feel that eternal blissful self who you are. तो उसके लिए मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, उसके लिए सारी वृत्तियों को ट्रांसेंड करना पड़ेगा और उसके लिए समझना पड़ेगा कि ये वृत्तियां है क्या और ये हमारे को किस तरह से डिल्यूजन में और घुमाती रहती हैं। Okay, so Swami Kriyananda says, we may call ourselves I am a man or a woman. We must remember that this is only the gender of the body in which we are living right now. The soul has no gender. So आप आइडेंटिफाई कर चुके हैं कि मैं एक आदमी या औरत हूं, जबकि ऐसा नहीं है। You are the pure soul. Then you are saying I am rich or I am poor, I am a professional, I am an Indian, I am young, I am old, I like this, I don't like this. None of this is true. The truth is that you are the pure soul. You are eternal, infinite light. But you have got so engrossed in the role play कि आपने ये सारी self definitions अपने ऊपर एकत्रित कर ली, आप इसमें से कुछ भी नहीं हो। We are immortal, ever changeless Atman, the supreme self. और अगर ये सच ना होता, आप कहोगे यार कहते तो हैं यार, भगवत गीता में भी कहा था कि हम आत्मन है, लेकिन मुझे फील तो होता नहीं है, मुझे तो यही लगता है कि मैं आई एम दिस मिजरेबल लिटिल सेल्फ, गुड फॉर नथिंग और वेरी गुड एट मेनी थिंग्स, यू नो। सो दिस इज ऑल फॉल्स। अगर ये झूठ होता तो इतने सारे जो स्क्रिप्चर्स हैं ये हमारे को शीशा दिखाने के लिए हमारे सामने नहीं आते। एंड ये हमारे सामने आते ही तभी है जब हमारे अंदर दिल से हमें मालूम होता है कि जो जीवन हम जी रहे हैं उसके पीछे कुछ और सच तो जरूर है, ये इतना लिमिटेड नहीं हो सकता। इस सौरो और ये प्लेजर और पेन के गेम के बीच में कौन कंट्रोल कर रहा है इसको, ये कैसे चल रहा है, कुछ तो है जो मुझे जानना है। इस पॉइंट पे जब आप खड़े होते हो और आप सीख करते हो तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपके गुरु आपकी लाइफ में प्रकट हो जाते हैं, ऑटोमेटिकली आपकी लाइफ में स्क्रिप्चरल स्टडीज आ जाती हैं to show you the way, because the universe, the intelligent universe of which you are the part, already knows what's going inside you. You are the cosmos itself. Every thought is known. And if you seek the guidance, you have to ask. You have to ask for guidance. That is, it is when Arjuna asked Krishna. देखो जब कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को गाइडेंस दी तो वो तो बड़े सालों से एक दूसरे को जानते थे, तो वो पहले भी बता सकते थे, खेलते खेलते भी आपस में चेस खेलते खेलते भी कृष्ण ये सारी गाइडेंस, ये ज्ञान दे सकते थे। नहीं, उन्होंने पहले नहीं दिया। लेकिन जब उन्हें पता था, सबसे पहली बात तो अर्जुन ने उनको अपना साथी बनाने के लिए रिक्वेस्ट की। सेकेंडली अर्जुन ने ये प्रश्न किए सारे कि मैं ये क्यों लड़ूं। तब जाके कृष्ण ने जब उसकी उत्सुकता, जिसको yearning कहते हैं, when his yearning to know the truth was at the peak, and when Krishna knew that Arjuna's heart is open, it is then and then alone that God reveals himself. उससे पहले नहीं होता। अगर हम विशी वॉशी है ना इस फ्रीडम को पाने के लिए या सैल्वेशन पाने के लिए या भगवान को जानने के लिए, तो भगवान हैज नो इंटरेस्ट इन अस. He has created us. He continues to love us, but in tiny little ways. लेकिन जब आप पीछे पड़ जाते हो ना, जब आपके दिल से प्रश्न उठता है और जब आपके दिल से ये पुकार निकलती है कि भगवान, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू सेटल फॉर एनीथिंग लेस देन द ट्रूथ, then my true freedom, and then your feet. I will not settle for anything. It is then and then alone that you suddenly find that there is a guiding light in your life. तो अगर अभी भी आप भटक रहे हो तो अपने आप से ये प्रश्न पूछो कि क्या मेरी सीकिंग, क्या अभी भी मुझे यही लग रहा है कि यार ये दुनिया की ये चीज मुझे मिल जाए, पहले वो मिल जाए, भगवान को देख लेंगे बाद में. तो भगवान क्यों आएंगे? बताइए, बिल्कुल नहीं आएंगे. लेकिन जिस दिन आपने सोच लिया कि मैं जीऊं या मरूं इस शरीर में, हम मर तो सकते ही नहीं क्योंकि हम इटर्नल इमॉर्टल सोल है, तो ये शरीर का जो हो, पैसे कमाए नहीं कमाए, जो होगा देखा जाएगा. क्या जब इतने फकीर बन जाएंगे आप, उस दिन भगवान प्रकट हो जाएंगे. पर क्या हम में उतनी हिम्मत है? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. और इसका मतलब फकीर बनने का मतलब जो रेनंसिएशन होती है वो भी सिर्फ आउटवर्ड नहीं होती है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम जो शहर में रहते हैं, कुछ ड्यूटीज करते हैं, वो सब छोड़ दें. इसका मतलब होती है इनर रेनंसिएशन, कि आप उनसे अटैच नहीं हो. आप अपनी सारी, ना किसी पोजेशन से आप अटैच्ड हो, ना अपनी ड्यूटी से आप अटैच्ड हो. आप एट द गिवन मोमेंट, एक इंस्टेंट के नोटिस पे आप सब छोड़ सकते हो. इसी समय भगवान प्रकट हो जाए और बोले चलो बेटा, तो क्या आप तैयार हो? दैट इज इनर रिनंसिएशन. क्या आप उस पॉइंट पे हो? तभी भगवान रिवील करेंगे. तो उससे पहले विशी वॉशी लाइट हार्टेड, हाँ ठीक है हमने एक किताब का एक पन्ना पढ़ लिया, गीता पढ़ी हुई है मैंने, यू नो, people boast like that, but have they really understood? Are they really ready? Have they left all their desires and attachments? और नहीं तो फिर समय लगता है. You know, a few years ago, I think I've told some of you this, I met a Moni, a person who was in silence for the last 12 years. His age he must be around in early 30s में वो था. He was an engineer, and उसके बाद उनको कुछ जो भी illumination हुआ, he went into Mona, and for 12 years he was in Mona, and but he would answer your question. You could write a question to him on a piece of paper and he would reply. And so Mike, I wrote a question to him. So कुछ साल पहले, just when you're new on the path, you know, कि आपको लगता है यार बस जल्दी से पहुंच जाओ, बस फटाफट से फ्रीडम हो जाए, ये तो आप भूल ही जाते हो कि अंदर जो वृत्ति और संस्कार और वासना है उनका क्या होगा. ये तो आपको सोचना ही नहीं होता. आपको बस सोचना होता है कि बस भगवान क्यों नहीं प्रकट हो रहे, मेरे को अभी मिल जाए बस. So I wrote to him, when will I find God, and you know, how can I hasten my spiritual evolution? That was my question to him. And he wrote 2-3 words and smiled at me and showed me the paper. उस पे लिखा था, इतनी जल्दी भी क्या है. अब इसके दो पहलू हैं. जल्दी भी क्या है, पहली बात तो हम इटर्नल और इमॉर्टल हैं. वी आर द एवर प्रेजेंट. ओके, सो एक तो ट्रूथ है, तो फिर टाइम इज एन इल्यूजन. एक तो ये बात हो गई इसकी. दूसरी बात ये हो गई, जब तक हम अपने आप को ह्यूमन पर्सनालिटी समझते हैं तब तक हम समय पर विजय नहीं प्राप्त कर सकते. इट टेक्स टाइम. अगर आप एक सीड को आज उसको कर रहे हो, सो कर रहे हो, आप उसको आज बो रहे हो, तो फिर उसको आपको पानी भी देना पड़ेगा, आपको टाइम भी देना पड़ेगा, उसको सनशाइन भी चाहिए, उसको हवा भी चाहिए, वो अपना न्यूट्रिशन भी बनाना सीखेगा, वो जाके पेड़ बनेगा, फिर उसमें से फल आएंगे. तो इसीलिए कबीरदास जी ने वो दोहा मुझे याद आता है, धीरे धीरे रे मना, धीरे सब कुछ होए, माली सींचे 100 घड़ा, फल ऋतुवन से होए. तो इसीलिए ऑल्दो हमारी जो यर्निंग है, द लव इन आवर हार्ट, इट नीड्स टू बी वेरी 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 इंटेंस, to the point of breaking the ether. Master said, when you pray, you should pray as if the ether around you burns and God must answer. आपकी ये इंटेंसिटी होनी चाहिए. लेकिन साथ में ही कृष्ण क्या कह रहे हैं कि फल की इच्छा छोड़ दो, उससे एक्सपेक्टेशन मत रखो. आपका काम है अपना काम करना. आपको फ्रीडम चाहिए, आप प्रे करो, आप मेडिटेट करो. एक्सपेक्ट मत करो कि भगवान जी कल ही प्रकट हो जाए या 2 घंटे में ही आ जाए. कोई कंडीशन नहीं चलेगी आपकी. पहले आप अपने आप को प्योरीफाई करो, आप अपने में इतनी इंटेंस डिजायर फॉर गॉड डेवलप करो. Then develop that love for all human beings, you know, which is the second commandment of Christ, love thy neighbor as thyself. When you come to those points, then God does reveal himself to you. There is no other way, because you are God himself. कहाँ जाएंगे भगवान भी, कहाँ जाएंगे, आप ही में बसे हैं. लेकिन हमारा होमवर्क अभी बाकी है. That's the problem. हम अपने माइंड को प्योरीफाई नहीं करना चाहते, हम मेडिटेशन की मेहनत भी नहीं करना चाहते, भक्ति जो हम कहते हैं यार टाइम वेस्ट हो रखा है, तो हम जब कुछ करना नहीं चाहते तो भगवान भी अपने में मस्त है, फिर जिए जाओ, एक जन्म दूसरा जन्म हजारों जन्म जिए जाओ, क्या फर्क पड़ता है। भगवान को कोई जल्दी नहीं है, जल्दी आपको होनी चाहिए if you want to end this cycle of misery and suffering. And the way out is yoga's chitta vritti nirodha, and to attain chitta vritti nirodha we need to practice jnana yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga and raja yoga, and all of this comes at the right time by the grace of the master. With that thought, my dear friends, let's just take a moment to share the power of the truth that these teachings reveal to us. Let's share this with the whole world, with souls everywhere. Let us pray together. Divine Mother, Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, all minds, and all souls. Send out 3 ohms from your heart, from your spiritual eye, and from your hands with love and joy. Oh. 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 Divine Mother, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, dear friends, so now we can take up some questions and some thoughts. If anybody wants to share, and Joy, you raised hand, you want to say something?
Yes.
I want to say.
Yeah.
Someone just please wait. Joy, you may go ahead first, please.
Yeah.
Om Guru.
Om Guru.
What I was saying, concerning to vrittis, we are all source of, we are energy, we can't be created nor be destroyed. So we do come across a thought. It can be a good thought or bad thought. So it is up to us. We have to raise our awareness to be aware whether this thought is good or bad. And then we should control the allocation of energy to that thought. And this awareness will come with practice, and that too with deeper and longer meditations. When your mind is calm, peaceful, blissful, then you get to know this awareness. So that is how you control the vrittis also. When you start becoming aware of your thoughts, then the vrittis will also come in control.
That is absolutely correct, Joy. Of course, and in the next few sutras, Patanjali will tell us the types of vrittis that we have, and we start to think more deeply that, oh, even this is a vritti, oh, even this is a vritti, that I need to silence this. And of course, we use energy to work with any vritti is energy. So we put in positive vrittis to control negative vrittis. So even the act of meditation, in a sense, is also a vritti, is a movement in the stillness of the Atman. And that is the positive vritti that helps to kind of counter the other vrittis. And eventually the lake, with the grace of the Guru, it becomes still. Yes. Thank you for that energy. Yes, Suman dear.
I just wanted to say thank you. It was an excellent session. I really loved it. Thank you so much. As you said, ना गुरु आ जाते हैं जब आपकी spiritual seeking बढ़ जाती है, तो मुझे लग रहा है मुझे मेरा रास्ता मिल रहा है. Thank you so much.
बहुत अच्छी बात है. हम सबके जीवन में ऐसा हो चुका है कि जब हम ब्रेकिंग पॉइंट पे होते हैं, इन अ सेंस इमोशनली और मेंटली, तब सडनली वो लाइट हम आ जाती है, हमारे सामने प्रकट हो जाती है, और वो हमें डूबने नहीं देती, वो हमें खत्म नहीं होने देती, बल्कि वो हमें हायर एंड हायर लाइट की तरफ लेकर जाती है, और ये एहसास दिलाती है कि हम ही वो लाइट है. तो सारी जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं वो धीरे धीरे अपने आप ही गायब हो जाती हैं. So thank you everybody for being present on this journey. Jai Guru to all. Om.
Thank you, ma'am. Om Guru.
Jai Guru, ma'am. Thank you.